Hi, this is Bruce Lemieux with MoCoRealEstate. With over 50 pages, a Montgomery County purchase contract can seem overwhelming, especially when keeping track of key dates. But it's not so bad. Let's walk through the key contingencies we see in just about all the contracts here. This date is critical. When a contract is presented, the buyer and seller typically go through a couple of rounds of negotiation. The ratification date is the date that all parties agree to price and all contract terms. Many contingencies are tied to the ratification date. Don't confuse ratification with the contract date. The contract date is included on all documents to tie everything together, but no contingencies are tied to this date. Ownership transfers to the seller on the closing date, which is negotiated in the contract. Normally, a contract will close 30 to 45 days, up to 60 days after settlement. Going back to the start, a contract specifies the number of days after ratification to make full loan application, which is typically 7 days or less. Now, some buyers think this is the time to shop around for loans, but it really isn't. Your appraisal contingency and financing contingency clock starts immediately upon ratification, so you'll want to make full loan application after ratification. The time to shop around for loans is before you actually make the purchase offer. Buyers normally negotiate 7 to 10 days after ratification for a home inspection. A radon test may also take another couple of days. As soon as your contract is ratified, immediately schedule your home inspection, and you'll want that to be completed a couple of days before your deadline. This gives you time if needed for additional inspections and gives you time to think about what you'll request from the sellers in terms of home repairs. Now, as you negotiate home repairs with the seller, that can extend past the deadline. If the property is part of an HOA or condo association, the seller must provide a full resale document that has bylaws, regulations, budgets, and more. You have 5 or 7 days respectively to review once these have been provided. 21 to 28 days is typical for an appraisal contingency. If the appraisal comes back lower than the contract price, the buyer can request a lower price by that deadline. A financing contingency is often around 28 days from ratification. That summarizes most contingencies tied to the ratification date. Termite inspections are normally within 30 days of settlement, and if the home has private well and septic systems, these are also completed in that time frame. And lastly, it's not uncommon for the seller to stay in the home after settlement. This time period is negotiated in days after settlement, with closing date being day 1. The seller pays the buyer for this rental at settlement and is usually calculated as the buyer's daily mortgage and expenses. The buyer's loan normally limits this to a maximum of 60 days. Okay, so that's a summary of key dates and key contingencies we see in just about all contracts in Montgomery County. If you want to learn more about buying or selling in Montgomery County, visit us at MoCoRealEstate.com. Thanks for watching.